everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just testing, just setting up ahead of time to be sure that everyone can see me. So let me talk about the show. So this is going to be happening every Saturday at 9 a.m. West African time. And the idea of this is for us to review the news and how it affects you and what you should be doing to adjust to it. So it's going to be very chilled, but it's also going to be very informative. And it's going to be for 15 minutes, like literally for 15 minutes. It is powered by the Money with Club. The Money with Club is a community of investment professional of professionals in different fields who are seeking to secure their financial future through profitable investing. And what do we do? Provide financial education. Like what we're doing right now is what we do in the club, where we discuss the news and how it affects everyone, and what you should be doing. Because if you know how it affects you, but you don't know what to do about it, then you are at a loss. So it's powered by the Money with Club, and Money Club is an expression of olaoladile.com, which is my company. It's a financial wellness company. So in the Money with Club, in the olaoladile.com, we have the media expression where we have the Money with Show, which is a radio show on financial education. We have the Money with Club, which is the community I just discussed. And then we also have like our education arm where we have like personal financial education session, one set with people, trainings for companies, financial inclusion programs, all that education, core education, sit down and teach people, gather together, create tools and stuff or toolkits. That's what we do there. So we will be starting off with the show in a bit, but I just want to um, give you like a preview or a testimony of someone in the club, and then we'll start from there.
Hey everyone, my name is Napa Musa, and I am a proud member of the Money with Club. I joined the club a little over a year ago, and at the time I joined, my goodness, like my knowledge of investing and where to put money and how to manage money and make money grow was limited. But when I entered the club, I was really eager to learn. Little did I know that would be one of the best decisions I would have made about my money. But the great thing about being part of the club is everybody, and I mean everybody, is very open to sharing what they know. So if you fast forward to today, I can proudly say my understanding of investments has grown tremendously. And it doesn't hurt that have started getting a lot of alerts into my investment account, and I never used to. So I have a diverse set of investments. I have a really good portfolio that spans across real estate to creative materials like art and movies. And I also have a very secure kind of investment portfolio. So I am much stronger in what I want to invest, understanding where I want to invest and how I want to invest. So being more strategic around my money is something I've definitely learned from the club. I can't lie, I really do like the interesting investments that come to our table, from movies to real estate. Really nice to see the different types of investments, and then also VC startup funding as well. So that's really nice. And I've made some great friends in the club. In fact, in other parts of my life, I've collaborated with other members of the club, so that has been pretty amazing. One of my most memorable experiences in the club. So I left the club, and during the time I left the club, there was a very interesting investment that came the way of the club, and because I had left, I wasn't part of it. I joined again after 3 months, and that investment, the returns, I think it was 8 times what people invested. And this isn't a normal occurrence at all, because we all know that if you want to become a millionaire or you want to become rich, your wealth should grow in a very slow and sustainable manner. That is my most memorable experience, and it's not a very good experience. So in conclusion, being part of the Money with Club has really been an incredible ride. From a novice investor to someone who is continually growing, evolving in the financial world, I owe a big part of my journey to this amazing community. So if you're thinking about joining an investment club, I highly recommend the Money with Club. The collective wisdom and support, it really makes a world of difference. And you're able to share a lot of experiences and ask so many questions, and as you grow and really build your network and your community. So I hope to see you soon in the Money with Club.
Fantastic. So we'll go right in. So first of all, welcome, welcome, welcome. States, please state where your name and where you're joining in from. So we're actually the idea is to build a community with this, where people join in, where you can actually join the call. Like I will share a link, and you can actually join the conversation as we go along. So I would love for us to start building that community by just saying where you are calling in from, where you're dialing in from, where you're listening from, and your name also. And so we'll just go right ahead. The idea or the essence of this, like I said, is for also hear the global news and how it affects us, what we should be doing. Another thing I forgot to mention is that I would also love for people to reach out to me. I would share how you can reach me on different platforms and just say, okay, let's discuss this news. What does this mean? And so I will collate that during the week, and it's going to be every week. So I'll collate that during the week, and those will be that will be the things that we will be discussing at this 15-minute session. It's 15 minutes, so it will run by quite quickly, right? Okay, so let's start. Global news. What's in the news today? Yeah. So I mean, we've all seen it, like we've literally all seen it in the global news this week. I think the most shocking thing was Apple, um, that the US government was suing Apple. Yeah. And the Nvidia announcement. Now, for the US government suing Apple, let's talk about that. What really is it? There's something in the US called antitrust law where if a company gets too big, the government makes them break it down, meaning that there must be competition. The moment you have a monopoly of any space, they would instruct you, coerce you by law. You must actually slow down, you must tone down, right? And so the government is saying that Apple is becoming too powerful with their phone, right? And why are they saying that? Because Apple does not make their phones accessible to other developers, other users, other, like if you're not in their ecosystem, you will struggle to engage with Apple. And if you have a product that you could sell, for example, I think EU just fined Apple because and they were not allowing other platform users to sell or advertise their products on Apple devices. So those are the kind of things. Now, yes, we see that in the news, but does it have any impact on you? Yes, it does. Why does it have an impact on you? If you're an Apple shareholder, it has an impact on you because they are threatening what makes Apple Apple. The fact is, Apple is what it is because you know that for you to benefit from one thing in their one of their products, it is best for you to be part of the ecosystem. And so what happens is that even though you would rather have maybe a MacBook, but then use it another phone, maybe a Google or another phone, right? Let's not name names. But you will be forced to go to Apple because it just makes it seamless for you. Now, what they are threatening, because the phone is the major seller for Apple, like it's their major revenue driver in terms of products sold, right? They are going for it. So you have to keep your eyes on it. The fact is that the announcement came out on the 21st, right? If you see the stock prices dipped that day. So yes, Apple closed December around 190 levels and had naturally been trending down. They've had some negative news like from the EU suing and the EU fine and stuff. But it was around 170, 180 levels, but it's around 170 right now on the back of this news. Why? Because the stock market knows that this is what makes Apple Apple. And yes, it's a lawsuit, so there will be a lot of debate, there will be a middle ground. But you need to keep your eyes on it because if they break what makes Apple Apple, then it might be a good product, but it might not be as much of a good stock as it is right now. But then there are still Apple fans. So yeah, we can't predict how they will respond to this because if they love their Apple, they love their Apple. Yeah. So let's move on from that. Now, the next thing is Nvidia. Like we all know that Nvidia is a company that produces chips. If you don't know, there's a company called Nvidia. It's a US company, right? And they produce chips that go round the whole world. They Everybody uses them, from gaming companies to electric vehicles to laptops. Everybody has some kind of Nvidia products. Now, on Monday, they announced a new generation of artificial intelligence chips that will be running some that will be used to run some artificial intelligence models. Basically, they are upgrading, right? And the fact is that Nvidia on its own, and Nvidia does power companies that we know like ChatGPT, right? OpenAI's ChatGPT, like the company that owns ChatGPT is called OpenAI, but they power them. But what are we saying here? That Nvidia is taking it further, right? And it was everybody is excited about that news. Nvidia literally crossed, I think, $900 per unit per stock recently, and then it came down a little. But everybody this news, why? Because the way the world is going, the chip market is the future, because everyone is going to be powered by one chip or the other. And Nvidia has a head and shoulders start over everyone else. There's news that Intel is also looking to build chip manufacturing plants across America. Why? Because there was a time last year or 2 years ago where there was scarcity of chips because everybody was demanding for chips for whatever they were doing. Right. So now Nvidia has made this announcement. If you have not yet gotten into the Nvidia flow, because Nvidia is used everywhere, like gaming, computer, like Nvidia is everywhere. They are consistently on demand as per their product. So if you've never thought about buying, to think about it, because they look like they're headed in the right direction. Like I said, minutes go by quite quickly. But yeah, so we move to East African news. Now, for East African news, what do we have? Yes, Access Bank buys Kenya National Bank. Now, the way I see this, so Access Bank is a Nigerian. It's yes, it's a Nigerian bank, but because they've bought, they're spreading out their tentacles across Africa, and what it looks like is they are trying to be the maybe next Standard Bank from South Africa, or maybe City that is global. So yes, but I think their strategy is Africa, right? And it's quite interesting because they are actually growing, and Kenya National Bank is actually a big one in Kenya. So we're looking forward to the unfolding and the merger, because what's going to happen is that they're going to merge. Access Bank already had an Access Bank Kenya. And so with this purchase, they're going to merge that into, so they would actually be a massive bank in Kenya. I'm actually looking for to how that would pan out in terms of trade, inter-Africa trade, because it's actually good. If you know about the AFCFTA and how they are trying to promote trade across Africa, you know that the things that would help you promote trade is actually banking. If there is a way that you can actually convert naira to Kenyan shillings without going to dollars, then you have an Africa Free Trade Agreement that is working. And so any bank that is in the position to make that happen, and there are a couple of them, Eco Bank, Eco Transnational, not just Eco Bank, Eco Transnational, and then Access Bank is becoming one. And it's so exciting. There are a couple of Nigerian banks, but this purchase is actually quite big. So we should be looking out for Access Bank and its stock if you are in Nigeria. Now, the next one is Egypt raises fuel prices. Now, if you're in Egypt, if you're close to someone in Egypt, I'll tell you, Nigeria, yes, we've done that. We are still in it. And why they raise their fuel prices? Because their currency depreciated or devalued, or they devalued their currency. It's the same thing, but it also does have some good news, because good news relative depends on how you see it. If you see it from an economic perspective, then it's good news. They sold a massive expanse of land, is a region, to the UAE for $25 billion, if I remember clearly, and that will bring a lot of liquidity. And I think they've gotten the first tranche of 5 billion. What are they doing? They have a reserve issue, they have a liquidity issue, and they've sold their assets to get cash so they can rest, right? But part of the reforms, because there was the sale and there was also an IMF engagement, and part of the reforms was that they needed to liberalize their fuel, their fuel prices, and stop being like Nigeria. Hello, on in Egypt, welcome to the club. We've been there, we've done that. Say that the sun will shine again. But for you as an investor, Egypt is somewhere to look out for, because with the kind of liquidity that they are beginning to attract, there will be opportunities. There'll be opportunities for property. There'll be opportunities for actual business. There'll be opportunities for trade. So let's look at Egypt if you've not considered it before. And then finally, Nigerian news. We have like 30 seconds left. Nigerian news, Binance. Binance is in the news. The government says they should release their data. Should we not? I am not sure. But there's a poll. Now let's talk about that. I have what's it called? Hi Amos. I'm just seeing this. Hi Amos from Lagos, Nigeria. Thanks for joining in. So I have a newsletter, right? And the newsletter is basically a little bit of this information, or rather a deeper dive of the information I'm sharing here, and how you can actually take action. For example, if you wanted to know how to get started with NVIDIA share, wherever you are in the world, we can point you to it. Now, that's actually what we do for fun in the Money with Club. That's our module. You want to take advantage of any opportunity, we'll find a way to get it for you. Whatever currency, we'll find it for you. So yes, I'm going to drop the link to my Substack newsletter. I would encourage you. So it's actually Substack, www.substack.com /at the money with, at the money with. So even if you can't see, because I think I've dropped the chat, but it's only showing on YouTube right now, but it's www.substack.com / at the money with. If you sign up to our newsletter, then you can actually engage with us, and then we can point you in the right direction. And in that, the reason why I talked about newsletter, because in the newsletter for this weekend, we did a poll. Should people, and also on LinkedIn, if I remember clearly, we did a poll. Should Binance actually release the information? So there are two schools of thought. There's a national security part of things, which is subjective here or there. And then there's a data privacy part. People that are inclined towards data are like, no, they shouldn't, because it sets a wrong precedence. What it means is that someday down the road, the government can instruct Google to release everybody's data, or instruct Apple to release everybody's data. And if there's a precedence, then they can't fight it. So it's very, very subjective, right? So let's see. It's one of those things where we have to see how it pans out, right? And now the last one we're going to talk about is that the government sold bonds at 21%, right? A bond that matures in 2028, which is 4 years' time. Now, let me explain that, guys. What usually happens is that there's cycles, economic cycles. Yields go up, yields go down. Now, the people that benefit from the cycles, generally, yields go down when things are good. Yields go up when things are bad. One of the seasons the season we're in right now, is that things are not as great as they should be. And so yields are up. What does that mean? If you have cash, this is the time to be investing. Why? Because we're going to come out of this cycle. Like Egypt that is going through their drama, Egypt has $20 billion coming their way. It's just a matter of time. Now, with that 20 billion coming down, anything that you find that is high right now, guess what? You should be buying it in terms of yield. That means interest rates, the interest you will earn on a bond, because it's going to come down, right? Anything you find that is cheap right now, you should be buying it. Why? Because it's going to go up, right? What am I saying? The government bond sold at 21% is going to mature in 2028. That is in 4 years' time. In my own opinion, it's a low brainer to invest 21% that you'll be earning. Imagine if you put 10 million, you'll be earning 2.1 million every year on interest till 2021. How much did you get in 4 years? You would have gotten 8 million, 8.4 million, right? Plus, you still have your 10 million coming back to you. Guys, it does not make any sense if anybody is not trying to find their way into the bonds market. It does not make any sense. So people have opted for, treasury bills are shorter. Treasury bills are 20, 26%. I want to go for treasury bills. But guess what? There's no way we can do this 20 something percent for long. By the time your treasury bills matures next year, yields will be at 9, 10, and you'll be saying, Ola, where can I invest? Yields are so low, it's not attractive. Good morning, it is time to invest. Now, I think we can stop here for today. It's exactly 9:15, and I want to thank everyone that joined this session. For us, we'll be doing this every Saturday. If you found this useful, please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Also subscribe. It will be hosted on my YouTube channel as a replay. So you can check me out, Ola Oladele, on YouTube, right? And you would see the replays there, right? So share with your friends if you found it useful. Like I said, we're building a community out of this. As you continually engage, it's just 15 minutes every Saturday. As you continually engage, we'll know people we can invite, who can speak to stuff, and we'll talk about different things. So if we're talking about let's say, for example, fashion space, we can say, oh, we know this person, we've engaged the person over time, and the person can come on because we're talking about news in the fashion space. It's not, there's nobody here is claiming the knowledge of everything, so you can speak to something. Thank you so much, everyone, and I look forward to speaking and engaging with you next week. Bye, Amos. Take care. Bye.